reducing um, business registration to only 1 day, or making sure that the delivery of services to the people are cut down to less, that all these other registrations. So, sa pananaw ko, ma'am, it's beyond incentives. It's about having trade relationship. It's about having the necessary infrastructure. Kung gusto mong pandagdagan, siguro sa internet, mukhang nararamdaman ko, mukhang bibilis na. At siguro, pagdating po, isa na lang natitira, presyo ng kuryente. Yan ang hindi ko alam kung anong sagot.
With all due respect, Mr. Speaker, ako naman po, it's all about incentives. Sana naman po kung maging batas nga ang create, sana naman po sa pag-rationalize ng incentives ay talagang yan po will be tilted in favor of our export-oriented industries. Ang next ko na tanong po, Mr. Speaker, ay malapit po sa puso ng ating kagalang-galang na sponsor. Ito po yung kanyang House Bill 79. Ito po yung NEDA Bill. Ito po yung panukalang batas na nagsasaad po na magiging department na po ang NEDA. At dito po sa bill na to, NEDA is institutionalized as an independent economic and planning agency. So gusto ko pong malaman, Mr. Speaker, ano po ba ang official na position ng ating DBCC dito po sa NEDA bill na to?
I think the official position is, especially in times such as this, what you need more is coordination. What you need more is people interdependence rather than independence. So to the extent, Your Honor, given the spatio-temporal context within which such a proposal, even if it's in the Constitution, although I was the one who filed it and got it approved in the previous Congress, I would understand why there would be not hesitation, but rather diminution of interest in making NEDA an independent planning agency of the state. Pero sa ngayon po, sa pananaw ko po, lalo-lalo sa panahon ng pandemya, mas kailangan natin ng isang NEDA, DOF, DBM, at lahat po ng mga economic agencies ay sila po ay interdependent at sila po ay coordinated.
So, Mr. Speaker, agree po ako na talagang kailangan natin yan. Kung ang DOF po, ang kanilang focus po is on the revenue side, ang DBM naman po is on the spending side. Pagdating, kumbaga po sa basketball, kailangan natin ng referee. Kailangan natin ng tao pong nasa gitna. Kaya yan po, para sa akin, ang simpleng dahilan po kung bakit kailangan po natin ipasa itong NEDA bill po ng ating good sponsor. So pagtulungan po sana natin yan, Mr. Speaker. Anyway po, for my last set of questions, ang tanong ko po, Mr. Sponsor, is ano po ba ang estimate ng ating economic managers pagdating po sa poverty incidents? So, prior to the pandemic, we were doing very well pagdating sa poverty incidents. Ang ating incidents ay bumaba from 23.5% in 2015 to an all-time low of 16.7% in 2018. Pero sa ngayon po, dahil sa dami po na nawalan ng trabaho, inaasahan natin, baka tumaas po yan. So ano po ang forecast po ng NEDA pagdating po sa poverty?
Kailan FIES year? Hindi ko sinasabi maswerte sila, ha? Pero ang FIES year 2021. So, meron mo silang 2 semester para habulin yon. Yung isa po, ginagawa pag Enero, yung isa po, ginagawa pag Marso. So, pero kung ako tatanungin mo, dahil po sa ginagawa po natin, mukhang kaya po ng gobyerno na may balik lang o may balik natin sa 24 to 25% ang poverty and not more than that from the current 16%. It is, I think reasonable given the unemployment and correlation between unemployment, underemployment, and incomes and poverty. I think it is reasonable to say that poverty will go up from 16 back to 25%.
Sir Speaker, mukhang yan ang magiging reality, pero sa totoo lang talaga napakalungkot ng balita na yan kasi alam naman natin, Mr. Speaker, na napakadali pong maging mahirap, pero napakahirap pong graduate sa pagkamahirap. In other words, it takes generations for a family to exit poverty. Mabigat po yung intergenerational effects ng poverty. Pwedeng maging mahirap just by losing your job, pero para ma-consider na hindi na mahirap, ang daming kailangan mangyari, including keeping your children in school and having access to healthcare and all those things. So sana po ay lalo pang mabantayan ng NEDA ang paglobo ng poverty. Pero huli ko na lang pong tanong sa inyo, Mr. Sponsor, has to do with a community-based monitoring system na alam naman natin ay ito ang sistema for generating disaggregated data for monitoring purposes, lalong-lalo na po sa mga mahihirap at yung mga kailangan po na maging beneficiary ng mga social protection programs. So, ang tanong ko po dito is, magkano po yung budget, kung alam ng NEDA, ang nakalaan po para sa PSA, para po mapasatupad po nila itong CBMS?
Hindi ko maantay ang FIES
Kinatay.
every 3 years.
Wala.
Ito ba talaga CBMS? At mas marami po ako
Pero
Mr. Speaker, it's
pero
terrible news.
maganda po yung ano mo na pagpapaalala na sa tamang panahon siguro pwede tayo kumalkal ng mga ilang pesos kasi po alam mo yung governor ako sa Albay hindi ko maantay ang FIES dahil every 3 years. So ginagamit ko ba talaga CBMS? At mas marami po ako napupulot doon kung asan sila, ano trabaho nila, bakit sila mahirap. So, ako naniniwala sa kahalagahan po ng CBMS. Pero, ang nakalagay po ngayon sa pag sinabi kong katay, hindi naman zero. 90 million. Pero, alam mo, sa akin, sa Albay, siyam na that's only 9 towns. So, katay pa rin.
So, napakalungkot na balita, Mr. Speaker. And lalong-lalo na nung ini-implement po natin ang Bayanihan 1, yung simple pong listahan para sa SAP ay nahirapan na tayo. Kung sakaling nandyan sana ang CBMS, sana po, yan po ang nagamit natin para sa agarang pag-implement ng SAP. But anyway po, sir, huli ko na lang.
2.5 billion siya ngayon ngayong taon.
Opo. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Sponsor, are you willing po to support House Resolution 1241, which calls for the increase in the budget of the Philippine Statistics Authority to 2.5 billion para masama na po dyan ang pag-implement po ng CBMS?
Actually, in my entire life as congressman since 1998, I always defended the NEDA family. So I always made sure na yung mga kailangan nila sa census, kailangan nila sa FIES, kailangan po nila sa APs, kailangan po nila ngayon sa ako po ay pipirma sa resolusyon na yung iahatag na iangat po mula ang budget po ng PSA na dati 9.4, ngayon ay pinadapa sa 8 billion na at least mapanumbalik natin yung 2.5 billion ng CBMS dahil paano ka gagawa ng matinong desisyon at saan mo ilalagay ang pera kung di mo alam kung nasaan ang mahirap.
Tama po. Mr. Speaker, good sponsor, pagtulungan po natin, suportahan po. Ito po ay House Resolution na inihain po ni Congressman Joet Garcia po. So maraming salamat po. That was my last question. I truly enjoyed po this conversation, Mr. Speaker. Maraming salamat po.
Because I can be truthful to you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Majority Leader. Mr. Speaker, the next of our colleagues who wishes to interpellate our distinguished sponsor is Representative Mark Go of the Lone District of Baguio City. I move for Representative Go's recognition.
Before I recognize Congressman Marco to Let me greet first a happy birthday, Chairman. You are now recognized, Chairman Mark Go.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Magandang hapon po sa lahat na nandyan sa Kongreso at yung nasa online. Will the sponsor be willing to answer some few questions that I would like to ask this afternoon?
To someone I truly respect for the imaginative leadership of the City of Baguio, certainly your honor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Sponsor. The proposed budget of the President for 2021 is 4.5 billion pesos. I would like to find out how much is the automatic appropriation for 2021 out of this 4.5 trillion pesos, Mr. Speaker.
For accuracy, may I just ask for not a suspension, just a few seconds.
Mr. Sponsor, Mr. Speaker.
I think for ERA, that's 680. For debt service, it's about 500. 1.419 trillion is automatic appropriations. That's basically ERA and debt service.
Okay. How much is the debt service there, Mr. Sponsor, Mr. Speaker?
I think for ERA, that's 680. For debt service, it's about 560 billion.
Does the ERA the stipulated in the 4.5 trillion budget include already the amount that will be added in view of the court on this decision of the Supreme Court filed on the Mandanas case? Earlier, Mr. Chair and Mr. Speaker and Mr.
No.
So
Haba-haba po ng mga slides.
to
At siyempre,
The
kita mo kagad doon na ang mga
total amount will be added should there be if we will implement this decision of the Supreme Court on the Mandanas case, Mr. Chair.
2022, actually naka-attend na po ako na pagkabahaba ng mga webinar ng DBM at pagkabahaba po ng mga slides. At siyempre makikita mo kagad doon na ang mangyayari, irerespeto po ng buong buo yung Mandanas. Subalit po may mga gawain na ginagawa ngayon ng nasyonal na sila na po ngayon ang magiging responsable. So, the answer is 2022.
2022. Doon po sa 2021 na expect natin, how much revenue are we going to generate in 2021 with the existing tax laws that we have in the country and non-tax revenues for 2021, Mr. Speaker and Mr. Sponsor?
Dapat automatic. Yung punong-puno. For 2021,
Dito po sa aking nabasa, nakalagay dito mga 2.7 billion the expected revenue that we will generate in 2021. Tama po ba
dapat
yan,
automatic.
Mr. Sponsor, Mr. Speaker?
Punong-puno. The revenues for 2021 is 2.7.
Dito po sa aking nabasa, nakalagay dito mga 2.7 trillion the expected revenue that we will generate in 2021. Mr. Speaker. Tama po ba yun, Mr. Sponsor, Mr. Speaker? How much are we going to borrow this
The revenues for 2021 is
Speaker, Mr. Sponsor?
2.717.
Yes, yes. So we expect a budget deficit of about 1.8 trillion, Mr. Speaker and Mr. Sponsor.
That's correct, Your Honor.
How much are we going to borrow this 2021, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Sponsor?
Ang uutangin po natin, according to Secretary Dominguez, is the gross financing would be 3.025 trillion, and the financing mix is 85% domestic, 15% foreign, and the debt to GDP ratio is 58.1%.
Yeah, ang tanong ko po, ang budget deficit natin is about 1.8 trillion, pero ang utangin natin ay bakit 3.025.24 trillion?
Kasi gross po yan.
Bakit po ganon? Doble, more or less. It's more than, it's almost double yung utangin natin in 2021, considering the fact that our total deficit, as you indicated, is about 1.8 trillion.
So, ito po, kinikilala lang.
Ano po ang dahilan doon?
Pag tinignan niyo po yung... kasi gross po yun. So, yung mga retirado natin, ng mga teacher, yung mga pera na mga yan po, pag diniposito sa bangko, ay sila po ay nasa treasury bills. Yung iba po niyan ay nag-expire o nagmamature. So, ito po, kinikilala lang. Pero pag tinignan nyo po yung net pa rin po ay hindi naman halos magkalapit lang po doon sa 1.749. Nagkataon lang po na may mga maturities po, lalong-lalo na sa mga domestic borrowings.
But, Mr. Speaker, yung pong amount na yan, we are paying interest on the loan or borrowings of 3.025.24 trillion.
Hindi man po interest, Your Honor. Aros, ano po yan
Investment po.
replenish lang o ang tawag dyan. Parang nire-renew nyo lang po yung kung kayo po ay may investment na UITF o may investment po kayo ng time deposit, parang nire-renew lang nyo po.
O pero binabayaran mo yung interest o whatever you call it, itong mga perang either, let's say, ikaw ay bumili ng government bonds, binabayaran mo din ito. And that is paid by the national government. Magkano po ba ang binabayaran nating either interest or dito po sa kinikita ng mga inuutang natin? Magkano po ang interest na binabayaran natin?
580 billion po ang interest.
580 billion. Hindi po kasama dyan ang principal, hindi po ba? Ang binabayaran lang natin, interest lang yung 500 billion.
Tama po. Nung sinabi ko po na ito na po yung...
So, kung isasama po natin yung binabayad nating amortization,